Artificial intelligence demystified.
Okay, so picture this. You're in a vendor meeting. They're pitching an open source AI model, and they say, and I quote, "The great thing is, it's completely free." And you're nodding. Your CISO is nodding. Your CFO is basically already signing. And then 3 months later, someone quietly mentions that you need a team of engineers, a serious chunk of cloud infrastructure, and someone on call at 2 a.m. to keep the thing running. And you're sitting there thinking, I thought this was free.
Yeah, that moment has happened in a lot of boardrooms recently.
More than people admit.
The term you were missing in that meeting, and the one we're fixing today, is open source models, what they actually are, what they actually cost, and how to ask the right questions before you're the one nodding.
Let's do it.
Right. Before we get there, we need one quick concept: proprietary models, because open source only makes sense when you understand what it's the opposite of.
Okay, what's a proprietary model?
So, a proprietary AI model is one built, owned, and controlled by a single company. You access it on their terms, through their systems. They decide what you can do with it, how much you pay, and what you never get to see. Think of it like a restaurant. You walk in, you order, they bring you the meal. It's excellent, but you are never, ever seeing the kitchen.
Right. You get the output, not the recipe.
Exactly, and that's fine. Until you want to change the seasoning, or you need to know exactly what went into it, or you want to serve it somewhere the restaurant doesn't deliver to.
So what happens when you do want the recipe?
Hold on to that. Because open source models are what happens when someone publishes the full recipe and says, "Here, cook it yourself." So, open source AI models. Plain English. These are models where the underlying code, the weights, which is essentially the trained intelligence of the model. And sometimes the training details are made publicly available. Anyone can download them, inspect them, modify them, and run them on their own infrastructure. No permission required.
Huh. So it's genuinely just out there?
Out there. Let me make this concrete. Imagine a world-class chef publishes their complete recipe. Every ingredient, every measurement, every technique. In a book anyone can buy. You can cook it in your own kitchen, tweak the seasoning, serve it at your restaurant, even put your name on the menu. You own the dish you make. That's open source. Contrast that with a restaurant that only sells you the finished meal through their door, on their schedule, at their price. And you never see the kitchen. That's proprietary.
Okay, so open source is the recipe, proprietary is the restaurant. I like that. But wait, if I have the recipe, doesn't that mean I can just make it for basically nothing?
And this is exactly where people get into trouble. And look, this is also where the analogy breaks. So let me be honest about it. A recipe doesn't require a commercial kitchen worth millions to execute. But running a large open source AI model at scale? That requires serious compute infrastructure, skilled engineers to deploy and maintain it, and someone responsible for security and updates. The recipe is free. The kitchen is not.
Okay, so. And I'm just going to ask this because I think a lot of people in the room are thinking it.
Go for it.
If open source is free and you can do whatever you want with it, why would anyone pay for a proprietary model?
Because free to access is not the same as cheap to operate. Open source hands you the engine. You still have to build the car, hire the mechanics, and maintain the garage. A proprietary model hands you a fully serviced vehicle with roadside assistance included. For a lot of organizations, the managed reliability, the legal accountability, the built-in safety guardrails, that is worth every penny of the license cost.
Huh. I genuinely did not think about it that way. I think I assumed open source was just the smart choice, like obviously take the free thing.
Most people do, and sometimes it is the right call, but only if you have the team and the infrastructure to back it up. Otherwise, you've just taken on a very expensive free thing.
That's a sentence I'm going to remember. Okay, let me try this. Open source AI models are ones where the code is public, so you can run them yourself without paying a license. But you have to do all the work of actually running them?
Close. Sharpen it slightly. An open source AI model is one where the underlying code and model weights are publicly released. So your organization can download it, run it on your own infrastructure, and modify it without asking anyone's permission. The trade-off is that you gain control and privacy, but you also take on all the responsibility for running it safely and reliably.
That's the one. I'm writing that down.
That's the version that works in the boardroom and in the vendor meeting.
Control and responsibility, two sides of the same coin.
Every time. Here's the scenario. A vendor pitches you on building a private internal AI assistant using an open source model. Full data privacy, they say. Everything runs inside your own environment. The price looks dramatically lower than the proprietary alternative. Your CISO is interested. Your CFO is interested. Everyone's nodding. And nobody has asked who is actually going to run this thing, keep it updated, and fix it when something goes wrong.
So what's the one question I ask before anyone signs anything?
What happens when a critical security vulnerability is discovered in this open source model? Who patches it? How fast? And what is our exposure in the meantime?
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
For a bad vendor, yes. A good vendor has a clear answer. A patching process, SLAs, a named team. A bad vendor starts talking about the community and open source support forums, and that tells you everything you need to know.
So next time someone says it's open source, so it's basically free, I know exactly what question to ask.
Next episode, we're getting into AI agents. And once you understand what they actually are, you will never look at a simple chatbot the same way again.
See you then.